Hello, my name is Katie Cardwell. Today I'm going to be presenting on needs assessment. This has been very interesting because I have been able to assess my students' needs for their phonetics. I've been using the Foundations in the Heggerty program, as well as Fontes and Pinnell within the first grade curriculum within my school district. So let's get ready. Some background on my students. I'm a first grade public school in suburban PA. We are about a middle class institution. We have 9 girls and 10 boys in my classroom. I do have the autistic support students as well, but I did not have them take this assessment. I have 2 students with speech IEPs. The ELA curriculum that we use, again, is the FMP, Fontes and Pinnell, Foundations, which is level 1 of the Wilson program, and Heggerty, level 1. All of our students have a one-to-one Chromebook. So my problem statement, students currently know their letters and sounds. This is something I want to make sure that they knew coming in from the pandemic, and this is something that they have been doing a great job with. Students will need to know the following by the end of first grade: digraphs, blends, glued sounds, CVCE words, which are consonant, vowels, consonant with a short E at the end, the silent E, decode 1 and 2 syllable words, and nonsense words. Nonsense words are words that are made up words that do not make sense, and we would like for students to be able to decode them as well. The state standard that I chose was standard CC 111D. So this is basically the phonetic standard for first grade. As you can see, there are the different levels there, and it goes along with the instruction that I've been giving. It goes along with our curriculum and the Heggerty program that we use as well. I decided to use a Google form. The reason why I chose to use a Google form is because it's quick and all online. I like to have a paperless way of collecting data, because then I can also convert it into another document such as a sheet and see all the information right there. And if I lose a paper, I can't go back and try and find that paper. So I like having the Google form as my tool. I'm going to show you the Google form now. So as you can see, this is my Google form. I use the text and talk and comment feature, which is a extension on Google Chrome. So I would record myself. Which word has a digraph? And then each answer choice, huh. So that they would go through. The way that I delivered this assessment is I used the Goguardian app, which allows me to see each student's computer screen as they are working, and I'm able to push out any resource that I am giving. So I sent the link right to them. They were able to listen to each comment and question, and they were able to answer on their own. Then I told them just to simply hit submit at the bottom. The reason why I chose the Google form is because students were familiar with it. We've used it plenty of times in my classroom before, and they also have experience it using it in kindergarten. All of the students in our school district have a Google account, so it links right to their Chromebook. I like that they're able to hear the answer choices instead of relying on me reading a paper and pencil assessment to them. And again, it's the easy data collection. The way that I found, again, was really helpful was to use Goguardian, which is an online tool that allows us to see their computers. This is an extension that our tech department had to install in all the Chromebooks, but it's been very helpful to see how our students are using their computers. If they run into a problem, I'm able to see the problem and help them with it. The data gathered. So Google Sheets and Google Forms. From this, I am able to create guided reading groups. It helps me with our child study team, which is basically if we have a student who needs intervention, I bring it forth to the team and we look at the information and we see how we can better assist those students. I give the information to the reading specialist so she can see what we're working on as well. It helps with our RTI groups, which is response intervention groups within the first grade level, and it helps create our goals for the first grade team. So as a team, we're able to look and see what data we can improve on and how we can better assist our students. The data that I gathered was which word has the long vowel and which word has the blend were the top 2 questions that my students were struggling with. This makes sense because we have just started with the long vowel and vowel teams, and we have just started with blends. So this is interesting that my students had a little bit of difficulty with it, but again, some students did well on it. It was about a little less than half. As you can see here, here's one of the questions that had the lowest percentage. Which word has the long vowel? And this is something that we have not really gone over yet, so it makes sense that my students have a little bit of difficulty with that. The learning problem. Students had a problem with phonics, so blends, long vowel, CVC, and syllables. This is an area where I can target them more and start to focus on ways that I can help them with their decoding. Students will be able to identify words with graphs, blends, and glued sounds, decode 1 and 2 syllable words, CVCE words, and nonsense words. All of these goals are meant by the end of a first grade curriculum. So right now we're about 3/4 way through the year. So these are all goals that my students can achieve by the end. By using this assessment, I am able to plan for the next couple of months and get my students towards those goals. The way that I plan to do this is to increase my whole group and foundations integrity time. So I plan to increase that by 10 minutes and taking out time away from our technology centers. I will be focusing in my guided reading groups on blends and long vowels. Now, those guided reading groups, I have been able to move the students around and see what groups they should belong in. Again, I will contact the reading specialist to continue to meet with the students, and we can plan together of how she's working with the students and how I am as well. So real quick, I'm just going to head back into my assessment. As you can see, this is everything that I made. And then here's all the data that I had. I like the Google Forms because it's easy just to gather all the data in one spot. I can see individual responses, and I can see what questions they missed. So I hope this was helpful. I really enjoyed working with this tool, and I think it's a great way that you can start to understand your students' needs and where they need to be at the end. Thank you.